Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another videos, another paid request. This time for Sean. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for The Bear. Some say 1989, but I think it was 1988 when this came out. It was a film, a French film, French director, that mostly is from the point of view of bears. So there's very, very, very little dialogue. And it's about this grizzly cub whose parent is out to get some honey. Sally's boulder lands on it and kills it, so this cub is all left alone. So it's trying to fend for itself until it ultimately meets this older Kodiak bear, played by Bart the Bear. That was the same bear that was in The Great Outdoors, who John Candy and them were fighting against. He was also in The Edge with Anthony Hopkins. He's been a few others. Sally, that bear, passed away. I forgot what year it was. And then you have Bart the Bear 2 afterward. But then it's pretty much them kind of trying to get used to each other and trying to figure out what to do next. Meanwhile, these hunters, they're going after the Kodiak bear because they wounded it, and in retaliation, it killed one of their horses. And so now they are determined to try to kill this bear. At one point, they capture the cub to try to get the Kodiak bear to come to them. And the movie goes on from there. And the hunters, one of them I recognize is Chetty Terrio. Now, they don't use his voice, he's dubbed. But Chetty Terrio, for those who don't know, he was the main bad guy in the first Bad Boys film. He was also the main bad guy in Jet Li's film Kiss of the Dragon. So I'm like, oh, cool, Chetty Terrio. Again, it's not his voice, because they dubbed it to sound much more American. But this one of those films, it was interesting to watch. In a way, there's not a whole lot to talk about because it's a very simple, straightforward story with very, very minimal dialogue. Other than the hunters, they talk from time to time. It's mostly, which I appreciate. I'm glad they didn't do something like the bears talk or the monologue or its narration. I'm glad for that. Because narration and having the bears talk, I mean, it just would have ruined the mood. And that made it a bit more interesting, a bit more intriguing to try to curve this into a story utilizing these real bears and how they interact with each other. Now, granted, when I see movies like this, I'm always have a tinge of caution when is this amount of real animals being used, about, well, how much danger were they put in, how much were they possibly hurt or could have gotten hurt. Now, the reason I do that is because of one film, The Adventures of Milo and Otis, which that was a film I saw when I was a kid. And I was cute, a kitten and a dog, and they become friends. Dudley Moore's narrating. Then I heard the backstory about how like a dozen kittens died and 6 puppies died because apparently in Japan they didn't give a shit, and that took like years to do. And you watch the film again, it's like cats being thrown off cliffs and fighting owl. Dog, there's so many scenes in that. As a kid, you're not thinking it because you're a kid. You're more naive. Now you're like, why? Someone needs to dive deep into a documentary on that damn film, Milo and Otis. They need to dive deep. Because you may be one of those like me that saw that as a kid. Because I did sell a lot of VHS tapes as a kid. It made a lot of money. And it's sad that, I know I'm going off tangent, but bear with me. That movie's on Blu-ray. With how horrible of a backstory that has, that's on Blu-ray. That they can still make money off of. Making money on the bodies of dead cats and puppies. Anyway, so when I see movies like this, I don't know, tinge of caution. And once in a while, like there's times where a cub falls from a branch into a stream, and you see it going down the stream. I'm like, okay, is this cub going to drown? Like you kind of remember what was that movie? A Dodds. I think it was one of the Dennis Quaid Dodd movies. Remember, there was like this brief bit where the Dodd's like in a stream with water cascading, and you got all this buzz about how inhumane it is and how horrible this is and how could they treat the dog like this. I'm like, you see, this literally has a cub falling, I think twice, into the water and going down the stream, and but thankfully it doesn't. There's not a whole lot of that type of stuff in this. Instead, it's more cute stuff. And how are they handle? I mean, Bart the bear. You can only control animal bears as much as you can, and I don't even know if control is really the right word. But I do appreciate that it's all done for real. It's all done practical. It's all done with these real bears, and just how much time and patience they would have to take to get them to do what you want them to do. Like, okay, we don't prop a body, a fake bear body, where this boulder hit it. Okay, we gotta get the cub to actually go near this thing and rub on it like it's his mom. Like, how much time did that take? Or here's a butterfly trying to grab. Later on, there's this great shot where the butterfly lands on its paw and it looks at it. And to capture those moments really help elevate the film and make the film work. And I mean, I would not call this a kid's film either. There's a couple gruesome parts where, like when the hunter finds the remains of one of his horses, is pretty grisly. Before that, when the hunter wounds the bear, the Kodiak, nice bloody wound, where it goes to the water and tries to soothe it, and then the cub. What makes the Kodiak trust the cub is the cub goes up and licks the wound, and then they start licking each other. But there's a bit where the hunters sit the dogs on them, and by editing, the the dogs get, some of them get taken care of in pretty grisly fashion in aftermath. And at times it becomes like a bit disturbing, like what they did with some of the effects, like unsettling. The the use of some of these dogs, like there's a dog they have lying on the ground going, and you see that they put like all this hope and fake blood around it, and then they gotta shoot to end its suffering. So it definitely some bits have made it a bit unsettling, lying down and breathing that heavy. And again, because of Milo knows, I don't, especially if it's, I'm sorry if this is foreign folks, because I think like the Italian films where they didn't give a crap about animals. There's that film I heard called Wild Beasts, where it's like a tiger or something, lion or tiger jumped on a cow and killed it, and a lot of Italian films, and then again Japan with Milo and Otis, and so it's, I'm sorry, just get bad all you want, but it's hard for me to trust foreign filmmakers and animals. But again, the fact they're able to make us, these bears seem like actual characters, whether by some sound design they put in or the way they take the time where the cub and the Kodiak are trying to get to know each other or licking each other, or one's following the other, or in little moments where the butterfly lands and flies away, or there's this ritual where the Kodiak is trying to prove his worth to this female bear and it's taking this big tree down. So the cub watches this and just like this little shrub and starts doing the same thing. Just wants to mimic the bigger guy, the big brother, as I would say. Like, that's my big brother. Let me do the same thing he's doing, but it's like to a much smaller thing. I thought that was kind of cute. Now, granted, this is a mating ritual, and the cub follows, and it's behind bushes, but we hear what's going on. So again, it's not meant for kids. Just a porking. Porking? Yeah, they're porking. So if you want, I guess if you want to hear bears fucking, I didn't, but I did now. I didn't want it, but I heard it. I went throughout my entire life not knowing what that sounded like. Now I know what it sounds like, so there you go. At least I didn't see it, because it's hidden by a lot of bushes. But you see like a little bit of one, hair. Oh, that's the wrong way to put it. You see something's going on, but you more hear it. I'll put it that way. Beautiful nature photography. Again, minimal use of dialogue. Thankfully, don't put narration that wasn't needed in there. It's interesting to them really make these bears. They are the main characters. Even to the point, like the cub, they put these dream sequences in it, which was unexpected. They did it in the spoilers. Like it's lying by its mom, who has died, and it earlier was chasing these frogs. So it has a nightmare of these stop motion vampire frogs. Like it's done like stop motion. It's like frogs with vampire teeth. And I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that. And then the cub kind of wakes up. What was it? There's another one where it has a dream about the death of his mom. Now, I get why they did that, to make it a bit more, I don't know if I want to say relatable, but maybe a bit more humanistic trace qualities of, yeah, it dreams like us, it has nightmares like us. So I just see why people be like, do you really need the dream sequences? I don't know if I say you needed them, but they were at least unique, and whether memorable in a good or a bad way, they were still somewhat memorable, so I can appreciate that. And like I said, some of the scenes of the dogs chasing after the bears, and I don't know, kind of made me a bit unsettled as to where this was going. And then heavy spoilers from here on out. They're being chased by the dogs. The cub hides while the Kodiak is taking care of the dogs. Later on, the hunters capture the cub. They're messing with it, like playing keep away with the food. Cheticario, he's hunting for the bear. He's looking at something. The bear comes up behind him. He can't get to his gun. But the bear sees how scared Cheticario is and decides to walk away. And then the hunter's ready to have his gun, but he's like, hey, this bear spared me, I'm going to spare him. In fact, he shoots in the air to try to get it to go faster. And another guy tries to shoot it, but then Cheticario stops him, and they let the bear go. So yeah, it was simple, but I thought it proved its point. Listen, I do wish they just used Cheticario. I don't know if he knew English at this time, but the bit I would hear in Bad Boys, and especially Kiss of the Dragon, I thought his voice fit. The Core, that's another one he was in. The Core, He's one of the scientists. He was Aaron Eckhart's friend. Liked him in that quite a bit. And I thought he had a good voice. Like, again, I don't know, in 1988 he had a handle on it, but like I said, I know it's stupid, but when I've heard the actor's voice, it's weird to go back and see them dubbed. It's like Jackie Chan. Like, I love Police Story. One of the few things I hate about it is Jackie Chan being dubbed. And I never understood why there was never someone saying, "Hey, Jackie, you want to come back and dub Police Story 1 and 2 with your voice? Instead of this other guy's voice being your voice?" Because he dubbed his voice in Super Cop, Jackie Chan's First Strike, Rumble in the Bronx. But, like, again, hey, let's have a session, redo your dialogue, Police Story 1. I wish that they had done that, but that's just me being greedy. Again, I love Police Story, so it doesn't kill it. Just one of the things that bugs me. Same with here. They let the cub go, anyway, with this film. Again, like, how they use the animals is some sketchy stuff. Like, a cougar is chasing the cub, and you see the cougar and the cub right near each other, not seeming to like each other. I'm like, how the hell are you sure that cougar's not going to jump and kill that damn cub? I don't know. And there's times where the cubs fall into the stream. And you do get some crazy footage. But I'm sitting there going, did animals get hurt? I hope not. Now, if they're trying to kill me, then yeah, they could be hurt all they want. But that's why I just stay the hell away from them, and they can still stay the hell away from me. So that's the thing. Like, you do get some crazy footage, and I mean, not as crazy as like Roar. If you don't know what that film is, look that film up. Roar from the 80s. ROAR, Roar. You want to see some crazy shit, but the cub tries to roar at the cougar. The cougar looks up and leaves, and then it's revealed that the Kodiak is behind, roaring at the cougar, and that's what the cougar was scared of. And you know, the cougar, the cub turns, sees the Kodiak, they lick each other. Nice reunion. And the fact that you take two animals that obviously don't talk, and you give them actual characters. You see that they have a bond. You see their trek of survival. Number one, the fact that you're able to do this with bears. It's one thing if it's like dogs, that you could maybe train them more so compared to bears. But to be out here in the wilderness and the danger and the usage of all these real animals, no CGI or anything, it definitely gives a bit more merit to the proceedings. Like I said, I hope none of the animals got hurt making it. But, like I said, if you watch the trailer, you see footage and clips. It's a very simple plot. It's a very simple story, so I don't know how people would feel about the story of the film. It is very basic. But it was worth at least one watch to see the nature footage and just the time they took to have these bears seem like actual characters and interacting, and these little moments the filmmaker captured. Definitely some commendable stuff because of that, at least. So, again, to repeat one last time, thank God they didn't put some dumb narration or let's put voices in and like it was Homeward Bound or something. Thank God they didn't do that. So, I appreciate that as well. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I think the same director of this did 7 Years in Tibet, that Brad Pitt film. I think it's the same guy. But yeah, I don't know what he's done lately, or if he's still with us. I don't know the details of that. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.